What is primary key? What is foreign key? Right? We don't need a big huge theory. Let's just, it's a common sense thing. Just forget everything. Just think about common sense. Then you make your own definitions, whatever you want to make. Can you make a mistake of saying, like, you know, this is opportunity table, this is table or contact table? If I ask you, you can easily read this table, right? This is the opportunity number, this is the name of the opportunity, this is the contact ID, this is the contact ID, this is the contact name. If I ask you opportunity 87 belongs to who, can you make up this thing? Can you make a mistake? If I say opportunity 175, who does it belong to? Can you make a mistake? Opportunity 208, can you please tell me who does it belong to? Opportunity 2208. Shanti, right? I mean, now just let's see. Right? If I don't put this thing here, can you figure out who does this opportunity belong to? It is as good as writing a name here, right?
Yeah.
It's just a number given to everybody and you write the number here, but it's as good as writing the name, right? Right? So, can Shanti have more than one opportunity? Do you see it is unique?
Yeah, it is.
No, it is not unique.
No, it's unique to.
It's referring to something unique, but it is itself is not unique.
Yeah, it itself is not. Yeah.
Right? Why it is not unique? Just why? Because it really depicts that many people can have multiple opportunities, right? Right. So it will only be unique, right? Because it is referring to something unique. It doesn't mean that, you know, but if you make it unique, that means, that is very simply, it means that Shanti cannot have more than one opportunity, or any of these four people cannot have more than one opportunity, which is a weird idea, right? Now, let's say there is a person, persona, he doesn't have a number. Do you think you will ever be in your life be able to assign an opportunity to him now?
Referring to second type of opportunity.
Yeah, you cannot say, like, let's say 21 opportunity to belongs to, how will you say that? Because there is no number assigned to him.
Yeah.
Right? So primary key has to be there, and otherwise that record is basically an orphan. Nothing can be assigned to it, nothing can be associated to it. So in RDBMS theory, we always make sure that, you know, Oracle makes sure, not just Siebel or any database management system, make sure that every primary key column every record has a value for the primary key. That's the minimum thing.
And it must be cheap.
Right?
Yeah.
So this is the only thing which makes the record complete. It's a very simple thing. To maintain this table, what all theory you need? Just think about it. You need to make this thing unique. If you make this thing ununique, let's say you had it been 4, and then who does this opportunity belong to? Right? So you will also maintain a unique index, right? Unique this thing. Remember, like in the class, we used to have unique roll numbers,
Yeah.
right? Do you think within the entire school we used to have the unique phone roll number too? No.
Within the
6
class.
within the class only. That means if the principal of the college is talking, school is talking, he has to mention which class and which roll number. Simple. If they assign a unique number to everyone, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for everyone, then he can simply say the roll number.
Yeah.
Right? So all this theory arises from these simple observations. There is really nothing very special about it. Now, just for sake of simplicity, this thing is called as foreign key. This thing is called as primary key of this table. This thing is called as primary key of this table. In this case, in this particular example, do you think the primary key of this table has any significance? Yeah. I have made it only because of the fact that every table is supposed to have a primary key, but in the discussion it doesn't have a significance. But if there is another thing, activity table, then it has activity ID then it will be important, right? So if the entire table does not want to live in seclusion, then it has to have primary keys.
Primary, yeah.
So in RDBMS theory, even if a table is supposed to live in the seclusion, they will still give it a primary key. So primary key is the first thing, and it has to be unique, it has to be there, it cannot be null, blah blah blah. Very simple rules. Same way, if you are assigning roll numbers to people, every student in the class has to have a roll number, right? Have to have a roll number, and every student in the class has to have a unique roll number. Very simple thing. Similarly here, if someone is referring to it, one more thing. What does this mean if there is a blank foreign key? It simply means that this opportunity is not associated to anybody. Can it happen? Yeah. If you want to support this functionality, then that's fine. Not a big deal. Right? So this is a business idea that this is null. It has RDBMS allows this thing. It should allow. Let's say there is an opportunity which is not associated with anybody. Why do you want to put the restraint at the RDBMS level? Why should Oracle restrain Siebel not to have a null foreign key? But then primary key has to be there. This is a basic RDBMS concept, and it has to be unique. Okay, and this is the one which any table should refer to. If any table wants to associate itself to the opportunity, it should refer to this thing. Right? Now, if you notice one thing, between content and opportunity, the relationship is one to many. One content can have many opportunities. Right? Okay. If one opportunity can have multiple contacts, let's say one contact cannot have multiple opportunities. So reverse is true now. So you will have to maintain this index here.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? So that will mean that now this is not valid anymore. So I'm hiding that. Right? Nitin can have number 2, Shanti can have number 1, Nitin can again have number 3, Prasanna can have number 1. Right? One opportunity is associated with multiple contacts. For example, opportunity 1 is associated with Shanti and Prasanna. Opportunity 32 is associated with Nitin and this thing. It's a weird idea. Usually reverse is true, right? One contact has multiple opportunities. But if one opportunity, let's say you want to support this thing that one opportunity can be associated with multiple contacts and reverse is not true, then you have to provide the foreign key here. So it's a very simple thing. There is really nothing very special about it. Right? Is it right? Now, making sense to you? So the foreign key is given as per the by the user. User is saying, okay, this Nitin is associated to opportunity 32. If user wants to say that, then he can say that.
And at the same time, Shanti is also associated to the user 32.
Exactly. So while gathering requirements, that's what I'm saying. It's a hypothetical situation. We gathered that. We gathered that. One opportunity can have multiple contacts, but contact cannot have multiple opportunities. It's a hypothetical situation. So it is possible to store like the data like this if 1 to M relationship exists, or M to 1 exit relationship exists.
Okay.
Right? And if it is 1-to-1 relationship, then what will you do?
Regular with the primary key.
Where will you store the foreign key in that case? 1-to-1 means if there is one contact, he can have only one opportunity. If there is one opportunity, it can have only one contact. How will you store this thing? Store this data? You don't need the foreign key, right? So let's say this is the thing, okay, and it's a 1-to-1 relationship. So how will you know Nitin is associated with opportunity 43? How will you know?
Because
See, there are 3 layers in the whole system, right? One is the top layer, GUI. Second one is business logic layer. Third one is database layer. Okay. In the GUI layer, whatever we do, that's fine. Now we are talking about how it will be stored. Making sense? How will you store this? Okay, if I say कि एक content से एक ही opportunity हो सकती है, how will you store this? आपको कुछ नहीं पता, मेरे कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स हैं, मेरी अपॉर्चुनिटीज हैं, वो आपको तो नहीं पता ना. यू डू नॉट नो विच कॉन्ट्रैक्ट विच अपॉर्चुनिटी, राइट? इफ आई टेल यू Shanti number 2 is opportunity 54, and the requirement is that I come to you after 10 years, you should be able to write it in some way that I come to you after 1 year, then you should be able to give me back Shanti की कौन सी opportunity थी, Dipesh की कौन सी थी, Umesh की कौन सी थी, Prasanna की कौन सी थी. That's how database works, right? Users can enter whatever data they want. Database has to store it. When someone asks for the data, it has to bring it back to them in the GUI, right? So my whole point is how it should be stored. How will you store it? If you were to store this information, one person can have only one opportunity. How will you store it? Which, yes, you did already, so that's good. Now what will you do? How will you maintain the reference points? नितिन की ये है, अगर मैं बोलता हूँ, अगर मैं बोलूँ कि नितिन has opportunity 43, where will you maintain the association? You have the liberty to put columns here.
I'll create a column or something.
So let's say here, or which table?
Anywhere.
Okay, so here.
It should be. Yeah.
Yeah. Prasanna, you're saying that you'll add another column here, name it contact ID, right? So this is what you're saying. What about you, Umesh? What are you saying?
Either this or we can create an intersection.
No. But let's say we'll use the most optimized method. So the trick, my question to you is optimized method. You can do one M2M also. That's not, you can use an intersection table also. You can use this thing. Is there a shorter way of doing it? So you're saying that contact, we can enter a contact ID here, or we can enter an opti ID there, right? Is that what you're saying?
No. I mean, like, we can have a similar field in both tables. You can call it contact opti ID. Contact opti ID in like opti table 2, contact opti ID in contact table 2, right? So in that case, because we will be having only one opportunity for each person, right? So Nitin has only one opportunity. His contact opti ID is 1 in contact table. His contact opti ID is 1 in opti table. So you can choose the foreign key. There will be like contact opti ID will be both from.
Then just one table with contacts and opportunities.
Like, yeah, but that's a very cryptic answer. Can you please elaborate what all columns will be there?
We'll have just like you said, contact opportunity ID and contacts and.
No, you said contact opportunity ID. That's a misstatement. You should be speaking clearly, Tejas. What are you saying? Contact opportunity ID. Say contact ID, opportunity. ऐसे बोलो ना. ऐसे बोलो. Clear बोलो. क्या बोल रहे हो? अच्छा.
We are just having one ID because the table needs IDs, right? So we'll have just one column of IDs and contacts and opportunity.
मुझे columns के नाम बताओ अच्छा.
Okay. Contacts, the contact ID. Contacts names and opportunity name.
So you don't need any opportunity table basically.
Yeah.
Is that what you're
That's
saying?
what I'm-
Right? Okay. Contact ID, contact name, opportunity name. You can just store it with it.
Yes.
That's what you're saying? You don't need a primary key and foreign key arrangement. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. Actually, to optimize everything, I can just maintain one table, contact name, opportunity name. I don't need two tables. Contact name, opportunity name. And because I have to give a primary key to everything, that is an important rule. That's why I will have a primary key column as well. Otherwise, even that is not required. Just within the discussion, even that is not required. But then you know that we maintain a primary key also. So 1, 2, so we can just maintain opportunity name right here. Simple. Because there is a 1-to-1 relationship. If you want to make contact's salary, will you maintain it in a separate table? No. Whenever it is in it's the attribute. Whenever it is a 1-to-1 relationship, you maintain it. Try to maintain it as an attribute in the same column, in the same table, right? So now it's just an attribute. Let's say opportunity name has certain other aspects to opportunity source. You can simply just say the database is, you're not doing redundant information, right? The whole idea is, why do you need a separate table? You need a separate table. You need a separate table because of the fact that you want, whenever there is a one-to-many relationship, you need a separate table. or a many-to-one relationship, you need a separate table, because otherwise you cannot store this information. Is it right? If there is a one-to-many relationship, there is no way of storing this information. If there is a one-to-many relationship, there is no way of storing this information in a single table.
Yes.
That's not right. Think about it, Tejas. Let's say one opportunity, so one contact can have multiple opportunities, the usual scenario. Then the way it can be maintained is the way it can be maintained. I'm not saying we should maintain it that way. I'm just deleting everything else from here. Okay. So let's say these are the two tables. Okay. Now the question is how we can do it without using primary key. Can we just maintain it in one table? Yes, we can. Yeah, just write the name here. Remember we had a full grid. Instead of putting the ID, just put the name here. Number 4 is Umesh. Just put the name here, and then you don't need this. You could do the same thing for everyone, right? You can maintain it like this. You could maintain it like this. I'm not saying we should. I'm saying we could, right? And I'm gonna add that we should not do that at all. No database supports that. That's a different story. I'm just saying logically, analytically, theoretically, we should be able to do that.
But this is true only for this.
Whenever there is a one-to-many relationship, on the many side, you can maintain this thing actually. On the many, let's say it's one contact to multiple opportunities, right? You don't need this table anymore now. I'm just hiding it. You don't need this table. This table is enough. You can get every kind of information. Who are the different contacts? Who are different contacts? Just make a unique in this thing. These are the different contacts, right? What are different opportunities are there? These are there. Who is this opportunity related to? Simple. You can easily find this information. But you know the reason why we don't do that way? Why Oracle? Why Larry Ellison don't do that way? You know the reason? In 1990, he discovered, he made a billionaire because of coming out with a great new idea, which is definitely not new. He did this thing because if, let's say, contact has another property, phone number, right? Let's say this is the phone number, right? Then you have to store that one again here. You had to store, right? You can store this thing is like this. For Nitin, the number is put here. When Nitin again comes, then again put the number here. Address to. You can easily store this information. But the problem is this. You look at Nitin information, it will be repeating. The entire information will be repeating. Nitin and phone number is the only thing right now. Nitin salary, Nitin address, Nitin this, Nitin that. Every attribute of Nitin has to repeat them. Mr., Mrs., title, job title, where does he work, company, and all those things. Everything will be repeating, right? Right? This would mean that if you need to store Nitin once, you had to store it 20 times. Wherever Nitin comes. Is it right, Nitin? Making sense? Right? So just to reduce the space, he says, okay, let's maintain Nitin in a separate table and just refer to this thing by 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, whatever. Now the space is saved. Now only single digit has been stored and the rest of the information is not repeating itself. Making sense? That's the reason. Let's say, we are doing, let's say roll, like in the colleges, schools and all, we have been maintaining these roll numbers, right? Roll number, let's say there is a separate roster who paid the fees, who did not pay the fees. 1 paid, yes, 2, no, 3, no. We can simply maintain the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right? Making sense? So it's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. I mean, you could simply do that, but then it makes more sense to us also that we store it in 2 separate tables. Otherwise, you'll have to repeat all the information.
But if there are multiple tables, then you got to have something.
Whenever there is a one-to-many relationship, you're better off separating it out. That's what we said. We concluded. Whenever there is a one-to-one, it doesn't matter. You can have it in the same table, and that's what SQL does. For every attribute, let's say opportunity name, then let's say opportunity something, let's say opportunity money associated with opportunity. That's in the same table, right? Making sense? I would better store it in the same table. Why should I store it in a separate table? Just think about it. Actually, this is must have heard of this great concept called as normalization. और कॉलेज में आपने शायद रट्टे भी मारे होंगे लाइफ के अंदर किसी ज़माने में, पर समझ में भी नहीं आई होगी, क्योंकि जिस बंदे ने ज़िंदगी में ना कोई अमेरिका आया, उसने ना कभी कोई एक छोटा सा डेटाबेस भी बनाया, उसको क्या पता है नॉर्मलाइजेशन क्या होती है। वो सारा दिन रटता रहता है। इंडिया मैंने रट के किया है सारा काम, ये मुझे कुछ नहीं समझ में आया था, जबकि बड़े बेसिक सा कॉन्सेप्ट है। दिस इज नॉर्मलाइजेशन, वी कॉल इट नॉर्मलाइजेशन सो दैट यू कैन स्टोर इट प्रॉपर्ली। अभी मैं आपसे पूछता हूँ, एक प्रॉब्लम आएगी, सोचो क्या प्रॉब्लम आएगी। मैं आपको एक प्रॉब्लम बताता हूँ, ठीक है, आप समझने की कोशिश करना। प्रसन्न आपने समझनी, ओके नाउ आई विल टेल यू सम प्रॉब्लम विद दिस अप्रोच। ओके, इन दिस अप्रोच देयर इज अ प्रॉब्लम। लेट्स से Prasanna leaves the company, so we delete his record. Okay, we delete his record. I'm just putting it somewhere else, just so that I don't lose the record. Okay, so let's say Prasanna leaves, he's gone. Now what will happen? Now one day when someone will go to this opportunity and ask who this opportunity belongs to, you will say to number 5. You'll go there and see there is no number 5, and database will hang forever. Right? Such an issue, such a big issue, right? We call this problem as referential integrity. It has to be pointing to something at all times. Otherwise, you are basically breaking the referential integrity. You're doing a good job by saving a lot of space, but you're doing a bad job of maintaining these pointers. These are pointers, right? You're doing a bad job of maintaining these pointers. What will you do, Nitin? Let's talk something simple. Let's say this is a roll number. Okay, this is the roster of fees pending. Okay, okay, number 1. Okay, this is in which month, right? Primary key. We always have to have primary key. January month, Feb month, whatever, contact ID, fees. So this is the column. January में इतनी फीस पेंडिंग है इस बंदे की, फरवरी में इतनी फीस पेंडिंग है. Okay. Now let's say this is very clear that when Prasanna was here, okay, that Prasanna की February month की 24 पेंडिंग है, January month की $250 पेंडिंग है. Making sense? Now let's say Prasanna goes and GS comes. Are you trying to say I should simply replace Prasanna by GS? Right? You will give GS a new thing. Whatever his number is, you will enter it here. That's a different story. If you put in place of Prasanna GS, then his number is also getting assigned to him. So you don't want to do all that. Right? But let's say Prasanna leaves and you delete his record from there. Do you think now instead of 5 you can put someone else? Actually, you should not assign that number to anyone till you resolve this referential integrity problem. What will you do now to maintain that your referential integrity, like this, everything contact ID has to be pointing to something correct. That is the referential integrity problem, right? If it is not pointing to something correct, then that's a problem. Just think, if I ask you January month or February month के किस पैसे pending है किसके हैं, you cannot answer because you go there and you say number 5 is not there. So I don't know who this guy is, right? Basically, for database to remain clean, database should get rid of this row somehow. Simple. Right? Either it has to put it in a separate table where this new record will be maintained, but basically either this reference has to go. Right? For database to function properly, for me to give you every time a proper answer and not get confused by looking at the tables, you need to make sure that this 5 is pointing to something. If there is no 5 here, when you delete this thing, you have to clean this table as well. You have to work on this table as well. What you do is typically you will move it from here to some other table, and you will put Prasanna in some other table. This Prasanna is some other table, and point this 5. Give it a new ID. Here Prasanna could be having a different ID, and put that different ID here. Simple. but you cannot. So now this table is clean, this table is also clean. They're both referring to something concrete, right? You will move this record to a different table, you'll move this record to a different table, and all that, right? I'm not saying this is a great thing, but just from a common sense perspective, this is where we are. I mean, we should be doing something. We cannot just sit idle, right? That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying this is the ideal situation, and I'm not saying this, or don't delete persona, or don't delete persona's record. Just maintain it there. This is what I would do. Then I don't have to do all this work. But then if you don't delete the persona's record, then, or you know what, you can maintain a checkpoint here. Left stool. Then you just, yeah, status, yes, yes, yes. No, sorry. No, yes, no. And maintain the record. You could do that. That is probably a better way. Right? Now, at the database level, at the database level, what we need to do is, at the menu, we need to take care of all the things that are pointing to persona. If you want to delete a record, you have to look at all the things that are pointing to persona, and then clean it. Do something about it. Basically, what it does is, at the database level, it simply maintains all the records, like it would have maintained all the records, and it will simply remove this 5. It was 5 here, right? It will simply remove this 5. It will simply remove this 5. Just remove all the pointers to that record. Like, making sense? If there is an opportunity assigned to a contact, and that contact gets, opportunity will remain, but then that opportunity will not be pointing to anything anymore. Simple.
So where will that opportunity reflect now?
Nothing. That opportunity will remain in that table. Like, let's say this guy leaves, persona leaves. It will simply go from here. That's it. Opportunity will remain there.
And if we should assign some.
No, but that's probably that is a rule, right? Opportunity can be blank. Opportunity can be having a blank contact ID. It could not, like for example, these opportunities, they could be blank. They don't have any contact associated with them, right? That's what database does. So at a database level, database says, I'm gonna just take care of this much. If there is something you want to delete, everything but look at this. So if content is removed, not only opportunity table is referring to it, but hundreds of other tables are referring to it. They all have to be cleaned, right? You want to know how many tables are it referring to contact table? Look at this, just to give you an idea. Look at this. This account table is referring to all these things. Address, decision issues, activity. So Siebel has to go, like Oracle database has to go to all these places to check whether there is a reference to account, and then delete those references. That's the referential integrity problem, and that's how it takes care of it. Similarly for contacts, I mean, there will be a similar diagram for contacts somewhere. Same thing has to be done. Whenever you go, like see, Siebel vanilla data model is standard. The thing that I showed you, that is a Siebel documentation for accounts table, and typically they won't change the schema too much. Like they won't change the schema actually, just by 1% you can, maybe not 0.1% you can expect. Like let's say an account, they won't be having any custom table, because all the Siebel has a lot of tables and there should not be any need of any custom table, and just columns will be added extra, that's it. But all these tables will be sufficient to put anything related to accounts. So this data model will remain same. This data model is basically between tables, right? So if there is no addition of any table, or right, then this data model will remain good wherever you go. So important thing is just you have to refer to this thing for the document. You have to refer to this table, this document for the version that you're using. 7.8 has different schema, 8 has different schema, and all that. It can have. I'm not saying oh yeah, but one moment that doesn't mean like they are exactly like the opposite. It means that there could be a little bit of difference. And yes, there is a little bit of difference in you have to be basically referring to this diagram. This is a schema. This is a data model for account table. Okay, but common sense से समझ में आ रहा है. अब मुझे ये बताओ कि let's say you want to store one to many, then this is the best way to do that, right? Right? If there is like one opportunity can have multiple contacts and one contact can have multiple opportunities, then what will you do? Both the things are true. You understand the value of maintaining separate tables now, right? Because then you don't have to store the information again and again and again. You save space. Remember, we talked about this. Nitin will repeat again and again the entire information of Nitin. So we kept it separate, right? Once it is established that contact table has to be separate and opportunity table has to be separate. Okay, let's say one opportunity can have multiple contacts. Then we know that we can store the foreign key here. If one contact can have multiple opportunity, then we can store the contact key here, right? Right? That's what it means, right? Now let's say this same opportunity, this contact can have multiple opportunities. That's not a problem. If this opportunity 21 can have multiple contacts as well, how will you store all this? This is your table, right? This opportunity 21 is associated to contact name 1, right? Who is it? Nitin. If it could be associated with Shanti also, where will you store this information? Just tell me.
We'll create another column.
Right? That's a very good point. I like that point. Right? So we'll put it there too. Let's say it can be associated with another person then. We'll get another one more column.
Yeah, maybe.
Right? Let's say it can be associated to unlimited people. Will you keep creating columns? Will you keep creating columns? 3, 4, 5. But don't you think, like, this is called as, once you define the table, you don't change it. You cannot change it on the go. System is running, you cannot change it. So how many number of contacts will you support? If there is a limited number of contacts, that's what I will do actually. If there are maximum 8 contacts that can be associated to an opportunity, I would rather create 8 foreign keys to contact table. That's not a problem. But then if they're unlimited, just think how it is in SQL database. SQL GUI. How it is in SQL GUI, sir? How many professionals can one opportunity be associated with? This is the opportunity, right? It can be associated to multiple, any number of professionals, right? So how will you store here? How do you think data model could be working? Just you realize the problem, right?
Yeah.
There is no place to store this information now. If it is unlimited, then you are at a loss. If you make the placeholder for 100, it's not a great idea. What do you think should be done?
Why can't you make a column in the contact table for opportunity number?
Sure, that's a very good idea. Let me see. Oh. So you're saying here, right? Okay, let's say so okay, Shanti has multiple opportunities. Okay, how will you store it? Tell me.
No, you said opportunity has multiple contacts.
Opportunity is multiple contact. So you are saying that you will store here, right?
Yeah.
So for Nitin you will store, he's associated with 21, and you will store 21 for Shanti as well, right?
Yeah.
Right? And if one contact has one more opportunity, then where will it go? One contact can also have multiple opportunities, right? Where will this go? It's like a riddle now, right? It's like an analytical riddle now. It's not RDBMS or anything. It's a very basic math now. You see the issue now, right? Okay.